Hi, Graham from Playfair Finance. For a property development case, I always get asked how much can I borrow, and the calculation is generally the lower of the loan to gross development value or the loan to cost. Now, whichever is the lower of those two amounts will be the amount that you can borrow. Now, it depends really on the lender that you are using as to how much that contribution that you need to make is. So if you're looking at let's say a tier 1 lender, which is a prime lender, then you're looking at maybe doing a contribution of 45 to 40% of cost, and if you're looking at a tier 2 lender, you're potentially looking at a contribution of yours that is probably about 20 to 15% of cost. Now, if you're at tier 3, which is a kind of a bit more entrepreneurial in terms of how they look at the case by case, you could be looking at around about a 10% contribution. But at that point, you're looking really at either a senior debt with mezzanine funding, or you're looking at a stretched senior debt. Now, if you've got enough profitability in your project, then the additional costs involved in that may not be punitive, and if it allows you to unlock the profit in that project, then it may be worth looking at that. But generally, that's the rule of thumb in terms of your cost. When it comes to loan to gross development value, if you're looking at a tier 1 lender, you're looking really at borrowing around about 50 to 55% of loan to gross development value. Tier 2, you're looking at about 60 to 65%, and tier 3, again, it's slightly stretched. You're maybe looking at about 70 to 75%. Obviously, this is all dependent on the project having enough profitability. The more profitability will dictate which one is the lower number. But what you have to bear in mind is on your day 1 drawdown, you're not necessarily going to get that percentage, because all of the interest will be rolled up and the fees, and that will be taken off the day 1 drawdown. So it may not be as high as the actual gross loan value. So I hope that's helpful. If you have a requirement now or in the future, obviously I'd be delighted to talk to you about your options.